All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the now I've got the say, what am I going to do next webinar. And now today we'll be covering travel guide. Okay, so let's talk about in detail all the accommodation options, the logistics. What are we going to do? How are we going to take a flight, the tube, the underground? Let's just break down everything. Okay. So in our previous session, we did cover some of this. So this is the location of your exam. All right, Octavia House. So ideally, you want to look at hotels that are near or around this area, preferably at a walking distance. I was near the borough, and it was very easy to just walk to the exam center. And everything else was at walking distance as well, like the grocery stores and like general bus stops and things like that. So it was very fairly easy for me to do this. Budget hotels near RCEM. So let's have a look. The first one is Travelodge London, Central Elephant and Castle, and then Southwark. Travelodge. Distance is about 10 to 15 minutes by tube or bus. You might want to double check all of this information because these prices will change depending on obviously um, what rooms are available and what. So these are just the cheapest ones that I could find just quickly. But you could want like breakfast and things like that. If you add those, the prices might go up. So that this is just a general idea about what you can expect the prices to be. Premier Inn also near Southwark. So that is the closest one. And I think this is just walking distance. I think I booked Premier Inn as far as I remember. And yes, it was expensive when I was there because I was there for like the start of December. Christmas was a few weeks away, but still the prices were not cheap, honestly. Ibis, Ibis Styles. So all of these were also within walking distance, not that far away. And during the December, January months, everything is going to be expensive. So just look up, use ChatGPT, use AI to see what's best option for you in terms of hotel, but then always check their websites or see if there are any discounts or anything you can use and to get like a better price for the rooms that you're looking for and the hotel you want to use. Now let's go to the airports. You have a few airports that you can fly into, Heathrow, Gatwick, and Stansted. I landed in Heathrow, and that's the usual one. Most flights land at Heathrow, but you can also have Gatwick flights. So choose your airport specifically. Now, a piece of advice here, make sure that you check what time you're landing and what time your departure is from London. Okay. So let me paint this picture. If you're landing like in the afternoon time in London, obviously you have all the buses running, the underground's running, you have so many options. All right. But if you're landing at 2 a.m. in the morning, you're not going to find a lot of options in the underground, the buses, or the local trains, the local buses either. So you might have to initially take an Uber, and Ubers take so long. Okay. We weren't able to get an Uber, and I'll share that experience as well. But yeah, you might have to take an Uber or you'll have to get a taxi, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. My flight, and I'll share this. So when we landed in London, we landed at like 2 p.m. afternoon, and during winter months, it gets dark at around 4. So I was hoping that by the time it's going to be nighttime, I would be able to get to the hotel. But the immigration lines were so long, and then you get your bags, and then I had to sort out the underground. My Oyster card wasn't paid, and I paid that, and I was lugging a lot of luggage. Long story short, I reached the hotel. We checked in around 6 or 7 because it was rush hour time. By the time we got to the tube was full. the journey was long. These airports are literally an hour and a half away from the main cities. So yeah, be realistic with your time. That can happen. And if you are landing in the middle of the night, anything, I would say anything after like 10 p.m., please, for your safety and peace of mind, if you're traveling as a single female or even as a male, if you're not traveling in groups, take the taxi. Okay, it's a lot safer, honestly, a lot safer. To the Uber or the taxi, whichever one you can get. The Uber the Ubers are very difficult to get at the airports because that's such a long journey, and they don't usually show up in the middle of the night, so you might be stuck. But you always have the taxis option at the airport and at the hotel. You can always ask the hotel to get you a taxi if you need to go to the airport once you're like checking out and leaving. So our return flight was in the middle of the night, and I did order an Uber. The Uber showed 20 minutes, and then literally 15 minutes later it cancelled, and we were so worried we're going to miss our flight because you have to reach like 2 hours before, and it's already an hour away. So then the lady at the counter, they're so nice. They called us a cab, and yes, the cab cost us £100, but we were two people with a lot of bags, and we got there safely, and we weren't tired, okay? Because we didn't have to lug our bags in the middle of the night on a bus and then the tram and then so on and so forth. It would have been a longer journey. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this public transport, using the public transport option if your flights are in the middle of the night. Okay. If they are at a good time when everything is running, then by all means, take the public transport. On our way to the hotel, when I landed in London, I did take the public transport. It was a very good decision. Very cheap one as well. I got my Oyster card. I had put money on it. We got the zones 1 and 2. We were able to easily travel. And if you haven't traveled to London before, this might sound gibberish, but I'll break this down for all you first-time travelers. Do not worry. Now, let me just tell you what lines you're going to get on. If you're landing in Heathrow, you have two options. You can get on the Piccadilly line, go to Green Park or Jubilee line, and then go straight to London Bridge. Okay? The Borough Street is where you're going to go. Borough is a very major stop, so it's going to show up everywhere on the trams, on the underground. Now, please note, in the underground, as long as the train is actually underground, your mobiles are not going to work. Okay? Your internet is not going to work. Your Google Map is not going to update. You're not going to know if you're going in the right direction. So, a pro tip, if you look up when you're sitting down at the top on the top of the what do you call it, tubes, they have the lines. Just see if you can find London Bridge or Borough. That's all you need. You need to get to either London Bridge or Borough if you are staying around RCEM. That's the place you want to go, and you will not get lost. Okay. Whichever line you get on, make sure that it takes you to London Bridge or Borough and you're on the right train. If it's going in the other direction and you're going away from London Bridge or Borough, you need to get off that train and switch because now you've gotten on the wrong train. It could be the Piccadilly line, but it's going in the opposite direction. Okay, so you want to be careful. From Gatwick, you can take the Thameslink train or the Gatwick Express and then change. For Stansted, again, Stansted Express to Liverpool Street, and then you can take a tube to London Bridge. Right. So these are just a few routes, and this is confusing, but my advice would be to take a screenshot, keep it with you in case of emergencies. But yeah, the most cheapest and best option to get to London Bridge from Heathrow is your Piccadilly line. Okay, get on it, change at Green Park to the Jubilee line, and then Jubilee line is going to come straight to London Bridge. All right. And they do say the station name out loud, but some station names, like Suffolk, is spelled a lot different than what it's pronounced. So please just keep your ears open for what the lady on the tube is saying. She might say Suffolk and you're not listening. If you hear the word Suffolk, that means your station is probably the next one, and this next to Suffolk is probably London Bridge or Borough Street. So please just keep your ears peeled. It's very loud on the tube. It can be very congested during rush hour, especially during December, January months. The tubes are choked. The weather can be bad, so the tubes can also be broken or not running. So one tube might have like one line, Piccadilly line or Jubilee line could be down. So you're now stuck shifting gears. One day it was working, you had your route sorted, but then the next day it's not working and you're stuck. So you want to be careful about these changes, especially if it's snowing in London, these trains and the tubes can get stuck. Okay, if it's raining, there are delays in the buses as well. So you're standing at the stop and you might not get the bus that you're waiting for. And it is a steep learning curve. And I don't want to scare you, but it's one of the best things to learn and navigate in London. Okay, that's one of the best things about London. And you have to experience it to be able to get the feel of what it's like to be in London. All right. So yes, these are few options. And obviously, once you get the hang of how to take the bus and the tube, you'll be able to navigate a lot more easily. But if you are still afraid, just travel in groups. It's a lot more funnier when you're lost in groups than it is when you're lost alone. Hope that helps. Also, please, my advice, always use an Oyster card for payments on the bus and the tube. And just, you can always upload, like, you can always put money on the Oyster card with the app using your debit cards very easily. Do not use your original debit cards or credit cards as contactless because you could be charged a ton of money, a lot of money, and you won't realize it. And afterwards, when you're budgeting, you'll be like, what the heck happened? So please use the Oyster card instead of your credit cards, unless it's an emergency, obviously. So Gatwick to London Bridge. I'm going to skip this because no, most of you don't take Gatwick, but if you do, just take a screenshot of this and hopefully that will help somebody who's taking, landing at Gatwick and needs to get to London Bridge. Okay. All right. And then we've got Stansted. Again, not a lot of people land there, but if you do, you can take a screenshot of this, just so you have an idea of how you're going to get to London Bridge. Okay. So which option is best? I landed in Heathrow, so I can only tell you my experience from there. Heathrow has a very long immigration line. It took ages to get through that. I was really tired. But after that, the journey is a lot smoother and the tube is a lot more reliant there. So Piccadilly line, switch at Green Park to Jubilee line and then London Bridge. It's not a lot of switches, so you don't have to lug your bags a lot, I would say. Although, yeah, a piece of advice, if you are traveling alone, don't have a lot of stuff that would help you. Okay, don't carry a lot of baggage that you are just very tired. Okay, because it is difficult to get large bags on and off the tram. Obviously, there are a lot of people who will help you. Um, but having said that, please be aware that London is a very busy place. So you want to keep your pockets safe and your luggage secure. Okay. And the tubes, they're very fast. So when they open and you hear that beeper going off, doo, 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 you need to either get off the train or get on it if you want to. Don't be half-half with like your luggage on and you're off and the luggage is gonna go. Okay. The tubes just close and then the tube leaves. So if your luggage is on it and you're not on it, it's gonna go. So be careful about these little things. All right. Estimated transport breakdown. So not a lot expensive, but overall, I would say keep a budget of 100 to 200 pounds on your travel, roughly. Okay. Just on like the transport. And I'm including your arrival to London and then your departure. Okay, so I came via the public transport option and I didn't spend a lot of money. But then obviously when I went back, I spent £100 on the taxi. And in hindsight, I think it was a good decision because in the middle of the night, I don't want to be lugging around a lot of luggage and then waiting for the bus and being late and then not arriving at the airport on time. So yeah, I would say on your way back, just choose the taxi if it's in the middle of the night. Do not choose the taxi for the airport if it is evening time or afternoon time, because that is when London rush hour begins and you will be stuck in London traffic in a taxi. Do not do that. So be aware. Right. If you are sightseeing though, if you plan like multiple journeys in London, like practice, say, sightseeing. So you can use a daily cap as well. So if you're just using zones 1 and 2, there's a daily cap at £8.90. So yeah, you can just go wherever you want, take any bus at that rate. You will not be charged anymore. So yeah, you can do whatever from with that information. All right, let's do some flight details. So there are a few flights that I've looked up that you can take from Lahore to Heathrow. You can take from Karachi to Heathrow, Islamabad to Heathrow. You have these options. I would suggest a layover flight if you can, but if you want to take a direct one, they are a bit more expensive than the layover ones. Okay, up to you. Um, what did I take? I think I went by via Emirates, and that was a good flight. I would say the layover was about 4 to 6 hours, I think, and it wasn't that long. So it wasn't like I had to kill a lot of time. I wasn't too tired. So yeah, up to you. But yeah, I chose a layover. It's up to you if you want to choose a layover or just take a direct flight, whichever is easier for you. Flight time is also up to you, but ideally, if you are taking a layover, choose a layover that's less than 12 hours. Otherwise, it kind of adds a day to your travel time, and that's a lot of time to be in travel. But to each their own. If you are a frequent traveler and that's something you are okay with, up to you. All right, so day one, this is like a minimal 5 to 7 day plan. Obviously, you can make changes to it if you like. It's just a rough thing. Book a flight that arrives at least 1 to 2 days before your exams so that you can recover and obviously to cater for any delays that can happen. When you arrive, you want to get to the hotel, check in, rest, walk around and see if you need to get food. If you're too tired to go out and get food, just order in. Use Uber Eats, delivery, whatever. Just order in. And then the next day, if you can, just confirm where your OSCE venue is. Or if you have time the same day, you can just go and confirm your OSCE venue. Day one would be when you're revising. Um, find other people who you can revise with. Get all your documents sorted next day. If it is your exam day, you want to get everything sorted again. Now, you don't need any of these things, okay? You don't need the procedural kit. You don't need to take anything for your exam except for your passport and your exam letter. That's it. That's all you need. Day three would again be revision. Day four is your exam day. Day five is when you're just roaming around sightseeing. Day six is when you return. Up to you. This is just a general plan, but you can make something like this for yourself to keep things simple. Okay. My advice, even if you are planning on sightseeing, just go to the Central London, sorry, and start from there. London Eye, you have this whole street. You can look at Oxford Street. You can go see the Natural History Museum. There's so many museums that you can see. So all of that is just in one place. Buckingham Palace is another option, and all of these things in Central London. So just go from London Bridge to Central London and then just stay there. You spend the whole day there. And please, because it gets dark at about 4 p.m., start your day early. Start at around 7, 8. Do an early breakfast and then grab your backpack and leave. Go to Central London. You shop if you want to. You will find all the malls there, Primark, whatever you want. All the attractions are there, everything. Start early and then try and come back around 4 to 5 so that you're not too tired, obviously, for the next day and you have enough time to rest and do your packing. All right. Total cost, obviously, these are all just estimates, but something for you to have an idea of how much money you would need to put in your application form of how much you're going to be spending. Okay. Roughly £1,000 minimum should be in your account or equivalent to £1,000 in PKR. Okay. All right. Quick checklist you can use when booking. Again, these are just some things for all of you to look at, not a lot to say. Okay, now let's talk about what you need to pack. Okay, for your exam, you have some options. You can wear your scrubs, they allow that. You can wear smart casual, so just a shirt and trousers or a sweater and trousers, comfortable shoes for walking between stations. What did I wear? I wore a long cardigan with jeans and I had my joggers. So yeah, nobody cares. And obviously you will need to have like a big warm jacket because you're coming from outside, but you can always leave your jacket um in the room and then for the exam, you don't need to wear the jacket. And on your way out, you can take your jacket and your bag, okay? Because inside is really warm. You don't need a white coat. Please don't bring those. And you also don't need a stethoscope, by the way. You don't need any equipment with you. Essential things to pack. So London winter is really wet, windy, and bitterly cold, guys. It's so, so cold. So you want to pack properly, especially if you're coming from a city that's really warm, like Karachi. It's going to be cold. It's going to be really cold. Base layers. So minimum layers that you want to wear are three. Minimum. Okay. You're going to need a thermal legging, thermal top, thick woolen socks, and pack a lot of socks because it's very wet in London. It's going to be raining. Your shoes are going to get wet, and probably you're not going to have waterproof shoes like proper vellies or good waterproof shoes. If you don't have waterproof shoes, your socks are going to get wet, and then you'll be miserable throughout. The shoes will dry on the radiator. You will have that in the hotel room, hopefully. Um, but you might not see sun for days. The socks will not dry. So always keep 7, 8 pairs of socks, good socks. And I always used to keep like another extra pair of sock in my backpack, which I had like carried with me wherever I went, in case my socks get wet, because with wet socks, your feet, you can get frostbite. It's gonna get that cold. So be careful. You want to have a warm jumper or a fleece. I wouldn't recommend buying a new winter jacket from Pakistan. Just go to London and then go to Primark the next day and buy one for yourself because those are the only ones that will keep you warm. Anything you buy in Pakistan is not going to help. So just layer up. If you're going from Pakistan, obviously it's going to be very warm. So you want to pack the extra layer in your backpack, the hand carry, and then once you land in London, you want to wear the extra layer, as many layers as you feel you need, so that you don't get sick there. You're not having a stuffy nose or red face, and the wind's not hitting you directly. So have a warm cap, gloves, scarf, waterproof shoes or boots, jeans with thermal leggings underneath, and a very important point for all the ladies going, your trousers is not going to help. Okay, shalwars, trousers, the wind is going to get in there, and that is just terrible. So if you can wear jeans, do so. If you cannot, get yourself like really good thermals underneath your trousers then. Wear at least a thermal underneath it, and then good socks to keep everything in place. Otherwise, the wind chill will make it feel much, much colder than the temperature suggests. Okay. So yes, this is my piece of advice. Okay. You want to take it, it's up to you. Don't want to take it, always your decision. But yes, Pakistani jackets do look warm, but they're not designed for European weather, cold or rain. So it is best to wear as many layers as you can to keep yourself warm. And once you are in London, go to Primark because Primark is the cheapest store there. Okay, that's why I keep saying Primark. The cheapest store there with very good quality jackets that are waterproof and warm. Buy one for yourself, please. They are located anywhere, but Oxford Street is where all the shopping malls are. Okay. So if you don't know like where do I go, just take the bus from London Bridge straight to Oxford Street. That's where you want to get off, and you will find everything there. Many Primarks there as well, not just one. But again, the best jackets are in Primark for half a price. Like they're not that expensive. Just don't try and convert the pounds to PKR, otherwise you will be stressed. And just get a good jacket that is also waterproof, please, because it's going to be raining, and if the jacket gets wet, it's useless. Exam day checklist, so clothing, documents, and then essentials. You can keep all of these things with you, but obviously you will be leaving your bags outside. Um They keep your digital watch and phone, and you can also put in your passport in there. You don't have to like keep it with you in case it's gonna get lost. You can give it to them. The rest, your bags and everything, just stay in the debrief room, and then you go up and give your exam, come back down, get debriefed again, and then you leave. So simple. Please, ladies, if you have a habit of leaving your hair open, I'd suggest for the exam just tie it back. Okay. Food strategy during your stay. So this is entirely up to you. I am a person who likes ease over everything. So there were days I did book a hotel that had free breakfast. That was really helpful. I would start my days early. I wouldn't sleep in. And I did do groceries. So I went to my local grocery stores. There are many around in the London Bridge area or the Borough area. Sainsbury, there was M&S, Tesco, Co-op. Co-op was a lot cheaper, Tesco as well. And I got some quick vegetarian meals, some snacks that I would keep on hand. Then you also have food delivery options. So if I wanted something like a burger, something warm and halal, there are many options. I was using Deliveroo because I had some discounts on it. But you can also use Uber Eats or Just Eat, whichever one is working for you. Just download the app, put in your hotel address. They come down at the hotel, they give you a call, and you can just go down and take your food. Some of the options that you can get if you are looking to save some money. So, when I went to the grocery store, these were the few things that I would keep in my bag at all times. So, yogurt and cheese cubes. I had some like fruit yogurts that I would have on hand, some cheese that I would have, some crackers and granola bars. There was some ready-to-eat pasta and sandwiches, usually cheese pasta and cheese sandwiches, or even onion and cheese sandwiches that come. You can have fresh fruits, microwave meals if your hotel allows. Mine didn't, so I didn't have that. Neither did I have any soups. But those are options. If you are looking to eat out and don't want to spend a lot, and if you are on Oxford Street specifically, there's so many doner kebab stalls that you will find, usually outside malls, everywhere, and they're really cheap and they're very filling. So you're kind of good for a whole evening if you just have one. That's my advice. You can have those falafel wraps as well from there. It's a good street food on London. If you want to try something, they have good street food. If you are a foodie and you're looking for restaurants, obviously you can always Google and go. I wasn't one of those people. So I just enjoyed doner kebab stalls. Some Muslim friendly options. Always have a backpack with you. And in that backpack, keep a sanitizer, some spare tissues, and a water bottle because most of your toilets in London are not going to have, actually, all of your toilets in London are not going to have Muslim showers. And they don't have water inside the stalls of the malls or anywhere else. So you will need a water bottle, okay, to solve that problem. I hope that helps. Also, whenever you leave the hotel, um, don't carry a lot of cash on you and don't carry your passport. You don't need it. So yeah, just a little piece of advice on that front. Also, keep a pair of extra socks, a hat. or a scarf with you just in case it starts raining and you get wet. A SIM card. So I already had a UK SIM. I didn't have this problem. But if you don't, and your roaming is going to cost you a lot, you can buy a SIM card at the kiosk, or they have those vending machines at the airport. So when you land at the airport, before you get to the Piccadilly line and where you buy your Oyster card, there is a vending machine that you can get a SIM card from. That's one option. Always, if you are confused how the vending machine works, just ask anybody for help. Obviously, the airport staff for help, and they will help you. Don't worry. I have a Vodafone. You can use that. EE is also good. The last two, you can use them, but their service is not very good everywhere. So Vodafone and EE have a good internet in case I need it when I am in an area where I need to use my Google Maps and the internet isn't working. So up to you how you want to do this. Those are like pay as you go SIMs. So you can just upload, like you can get put money on it, about £20, and then see how that works. If you run out of money, you can always top it up. So please just make sure that you get the SIM at the airport and not go looking for it in a shop, because that's a waste of time. Although you can still do that, by the way. Transport. We have already covered some of the tube complexities, but just so you know, the tube is the fastest way to move around London. And you usually only need zone 1 to 2, not a lot. And typically for the tube, it's about 60 to £70 for a 5 to 7 day trip. And the mobile data is going to cost you about roughly £20, not 15 though. So don't pay for the extra zones, just stick to the zone 1 and 2. That this is where everything is happening anyway, so you don't need to travel that far. Always get an Oyster card, please. You can just get that at the airport. Do not use your Pakistani debit or credit card as a pay as you go contactless thing, because yeah, that's just disaster. And if you lose it, that's another disaster. So yeah, please be aware. Why stay indoors before the exam? This is not a hard and fast rule. I applied that to myself because I had like 1.5 day before my exam that I landed in London. The one reason I wanted to stay indoors was one, because I didn't want to get sick from anybody else on the tram or the tube. It's already that congested on the tube and many people are sick. Early darkness, like it gets so dark by 4, you don't see anything outside, so it's not really fun. I wanted to conserve my energy, study and rest as much as I could. Also, it was really cold outside. Like I did not fancy going out in the rain, the wind, and the cold and be just wet and miserable. So that was my reason. So what I did was I stayed inside, ordered food, rested, revised, had a chat with my family, and that's all. And then after my exam, I would just go out and come back very late. So that was what I did. Please make sure that you walk to exam center a day before your exam, see where the building is, what route you're going to take. If you have to take any buses, you want to check those. I was just at a walking distance, so I just walked to my exam center, simple enough. But if you do have to take a bus or a tube, just make sure that you know the route. You've done it many, many times and you're confident. London buses. Some essential tips. Please check direction. A bus number can go in two opposite directions, so you must stand on the correct side of the road. If you check on Google Maps, they will have every stop has their own letter. So whenever you're standing at a stop, just check if you are at the correct letter, A, B, K, L, H, whichever it is. They will tell you which stop the bus is going to come that you need to take. So make sure the letter is the correct one. Okay. And I have done this many times where I'm standing literally at the opposite end and I end up going in the other direction. All right. So don't do that. Double check. Signal the bus. Okay. The buses are not going to stop automatically unless somebody is getting off at that spot, at that stop, or you have waved in front of the bus. So just keep your hand straight out, horizontal, and just wave at the bus so that they stop. Okay. If you don't signal, they will not stop and you will be just standing there. And when you get on the bus, use your British manners. When in British, do as the British do. Just say hello, you all right, or just hi, good morning, whatever. Tap the card. If you have your Oyster card, you can just tap it. Um, you don't need to tap out, obviously, but just tap when you enter the bus, okay? Always have your Oyster card out, get on the bus, tap it. Once it says done, you can just go and find your seat. And when you can just get off whenever you want. Obviously, you have to, again, tell the bus that you want to get off. So if it's your station or it's your stop, there is a red button on the buses that you need to press if you want to get off. So press it and then don't just stand. You can just stay sitting. Once the bus stops, obviously get off and always say thank you when you get off. The weather reality. Winters in London, or in UK in general, I would say. London is the warmest place, honestly. The rest of them are just terribly cold. But yeah, London is also cold. So remember, guys, your shoes are going to get wet, muddy, and splashed and rained on constantly. If you don't have waterproof sneakers, buy them. I didn't. I suffered through my shoes that I had. Um, and I just kept a pair of extra socks and I just kept changing my socks. Fully waterproof, not vellies. Sorry, that's a typo here. It's vellies, if you can. You can get some vellies from Primark. They're not the best comfortable shoes that you will find. So if you don't want them, it's okay. You can keep your sneakers. They work just as well. If you are packing for your trip, don't pack for any flip-flops or things like that. You're not going to be wearing them. For the exam, if you are comfortable, I would still recommend just wearing joggers for the exam. And generally just pack two pair of joggers. You don't need any other fancy shoes, nothing of the sort. Just pack a lot of socks though. You will need a lot of dry socks. Umbrellas. So many people buy umbrellas. In my experience, they have been fairly useless in London. One, because it's so windy, the umbrellas are just useless because the rain just comes from the side and the front and the back, and the umbrella is just at the top. So yeah, it's up to you. The wind is very strong. My umbrella would, well, the first day I got my umbrella, it just flipped inside out, and that wasn't funny. I was laughing, but it wasn't funny. Because the umbrella was £10. That's expensive. So it was really impractical while I was trying to navigate the maps and holding the umbrella and trying to see where I'm going. So yeah, I just ditched it. I preferred a parka, a waterproof jacket, and with a hood. So that was my solution to all of this. So the best protection would be a waterproof parka if you can. Essentially a hood for protection, good insulation for warmth, long length for coverage. I did have like a mid up to my mid thigh kind of jacket, and it had a water resistant material, so it really helped me. Pro tip. So if it does start raining, this is one of my tips that you can do. I wear my backpack inside and then I wear the jacket on top of it so my backpack isn't getting wet. So this can protect your phone, your pass. The phone wasn't protected. I keep the phone in my pocket, the jacket pocket, but the rest of my stuff was protected. So dressing wise, again, just to remind you, you have to have a base layer, a middle layer, and an outer layer. And obviously footwear, you need waterproof shoes and extra socks. This combination for me was a lot better than an umbrella. Honestly, it kept me warm and dry throughout. And if I get too warm, which can happen inside the malls because they are temperature regulated, I would just take my outer layer off and keep it in my bag and then walk around. And if I want to shop and stuff, I do that. Also, this is one of the reasons why I carried a backpack. And I also had a zipped foldable bag in my backpack in case I was shopping because I didn't want to be carrying around a lot of shopping bags like a maniac. And I obviously wanted my hands free because I was always using Google Maps to check where I'm going. So yeah, that helps. Have a bag, an extra bag just in case you shop a lot so that you can put all of your stuff in there in case it starts raining and everything stays dry and safe and you're not tired. Safety tips, always keep your phone charged. If you are worried it's going to run out of a charge, just keep your charger with you because you will find some sockets on the bus and in malls. Keep your SIM active, protect your valuables, keep your passport, exam confirmation letter, and any extra cash you bring in the hotel locker and keep it locked at all times. No one else should know the code, please. Weather protection. You want to keep a raincoat or a waterproof parka in your bag. London winter rain is unpredictable. Room supplies. You can keep your snacks in your room for late night hunger because the hotels do close up their dinner area at around like 7, I think. Navigation wise, please use Google Maps, but also remember sometimes there can be delays. And on Sundays, there are less buses running, okay? Or on public holidays. Public holidays and Sundays. There are less buses than usual. Comfortable footwear, please, because you'll be walking a lot, wear comfortable shoes and avoid new shoes that haven't been broken in. You will regret it. Walk around your borough area. That's where your exam is. You have a lovely borough market there. You have London Bridge, which looks amazing at night. Beautiful lights there. Lots of restaurants, groceries, and small shops for you to see. So within the borough, you can walk to many places. Just walking helps. Many people walk, so don't be afraid of walking. And if you think you're going to get tired, buses just come every 3 to 5 minutes. So just get on any bus and you'll be fine. Obviously, if it's raining, buses are a lot better than walking. In summary, how are you going to survive London? So, day before the exam, let's just summarize. Walk to the center, note the entrance time and the route. Transport skills, please just check the stop letter, signal the bus to stop, always use your Oyster contactless cards if you have, and use Google Maps for directions. Weather, survival, waterproof jacket with a hood, backpack under the jacket to help, waterproof shoes and extra socks. After the exam, go out and explore, eat good food, visit Oxford Street, Primark, main central London for any of those attractions that you want to see, and celebrate as much as you can because you've done the hard part, okay? And I just really, really hope that this guide will help you in some way to make your journey easier and you're able to focus on your exam. Okay, thank you very much for listening if you have stuck around for this long. And if you need more MRChem or emergency medicine guidance, just follow along. And that's my email if you need any more help. And still, if you have questions, the forums are open. You can leave them in the chat box. I'll be looking at the live chat if you want to ask me about something specific. All right. And I'll see you next time. Allah Hafiz.